Last week, I watched my 67-year-old colleague collapse at his desk. He'd been pushing through 12-hour days, refusing to admit that something had changed. And as the ambulance pulled away, I realized I'd been doing the exact same thing. That moment changed everything I thought I knew about working past 60. I'm 63 years old, and I'm about to share something that took me 4 decades to figure out. If you're working past 60, or planning to, this might be the most important conversation we ever have, because the rules, they've changed, and nobody's telling you the truth about it. Here's what I mean. For 40 years, I played by one rulebook. Show up early, leave late, push through the pain, prove your worth every single day. That worked beautifully. Until it didn't. And the scary part? I didn't even notice when it stopped working. 3 years ago, I was convinced I was still operating at my peak. Sure, I was tired. Sure, I needed more coffee than I used to. But I was getting things done, right? Wrong. I was running on fumes and calling it dedication. And I'm willing to bet some of you are doing the same thing right now. So let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt truly energized at work? Not caffeinated. Not just getting through it. Actually energized. If you can't remember, keep watching. Because what I'm about to share changed not just my work life, but saved my entire life. The first thing I learned? Energy is no longer unlimited, and pretending it is will destroy you. I remember the morning it hit me. I'd scheduled back-to-back meetings all day, something I'd done thousands of times before. But by 2 p.m., I couldn't think straight. My mind felt like it was wading through mud. I was making mistakes I'd never made before, simple things. And I felt this wave of panic. Am I losing it? But here's what nobody tells you. You're not losing it. Your body is just trying to communicate something important. And after 60, you need to actually listen. I started tracking my energy levels throughout the day, and I discovered something fascinating. I had about 4 golden hours, between 8 a.m. and noon, where I was absolutely sharp. Then there was a dip, then a smaller window in late afternoon where I could rally. That was it. 4 to 6 hours of peak performance, maximum. Now, the old me would have been devastated by this. Only 4 hours? I used to work 10, 12, 14 hours straight. But here's the shift that changed everything. I stopped trying to extend those hours and instead started protecting them like my life depended on it. Because it did. I blocked out my mornings completely. No meetings, no emails, no distractions, just deep, important work during my peak hours. The stuff that actually moved the needle. And you know what happened? I accomplished more in those 4 focused hours than I used to in entire days of scattered effort. But, and stay with me, because this next part is crucial, I had to get ruthlessly honest about something uncomfortable. I had to admit that some battles just aren't worth fighting anymore. There's this thing that happens when you've been in the workforce for decades. You develop opinions, strong ones. You've seen what works, what doesn't. You've been through the cycles. And when some 35-year-old suggests a approach you know failed spectacularly in 1998, every fiber of your being wants to fight it. I was that person. The guy who said, "We tried that before," in every meeting. The one who could list 17 reasons why the new initiative wouldn't work. And I thought I was being valuable, wise, experienced. I was actually being exhausting to others and to myself. Here's what I figured out. Being right isn't worth the energy it costs anymore. Let me say that again. Being right isn't worth the energy it costs. I made a decision. I'd share my perspective once, clearly and concisely. If people wanted to take it, great. If not, also great. I wasn't going to spend my limited energy fighting battles that ultimately someone else would learn from firsthand anyway. This one shift, letting go of needing to be right, probably added 5 years to my career, maybe to my life. The stress I was carrying around, the frustration, the constant low-grade irritation that people weren't listening to experience. It all just melted away. And here's the plot twist. People started listening to me more because I wasn't the cranky old guy anymore. I was the calm, confident voice who spoke up when it mattered and stayed quiet when it didn't. But there's something else, something I really need you to understand about working past 60. Your identity might be wrapped up in your job title, and that's dangerous. I spent 35 years climbing. Every promotion felt like validation. Every accomplishment proved my worth. My business card was basically my sense of self. And then one day, I'm sitting in a meeting, and this younger manager starts explaining my own project back to me, getting details wrong, taking credit without meaning to, and I felt invisible. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, is this it? Am I already irrelevant? And that question nearly broke me. But then I realized something profound. I'd been measuring my value by the wrong metric this entire time. The question wasn't, how do I stay relevant in my current role? The question was, what do I actually want from these years? Because here's the truth bomb. Past 60, you've probably got 5, maybe 10 good working years left. Maybe more, maybe less. But they're limited. And every day you spend trying to prove yourself to people who already have their minds made up, that's a day you're not spending on what actually matters. So I made a list. What did I want these final working years to feel like? Not look like. Feel like. And the answer surprised me. I wanted to mentor. I wanted to solve interesting problems. I wanted to work with people I actually liked. I wanted to go home at 5 p.m. without guilt. I wanted to finally take all my vacation days. I didn't want the title. I didn't want the politics. I didn't want the 7 a.m. meetings or the Sunday emails. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because once I got clear on this, I had to make some bold moves. I actually turned down a promotion. Can you imagine? My younger self would have been horrified. But this promotion came with evening events, weekend work, and constant availability. And I looked at it and thought, that's not adding years to my life, that's subtracting them. I said no, and I've never regretted it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. That's easy for you to say. I can't afford to turn down money. I need this job for health insurance. I've got bills. I get it. I'm not saying everyone can do exactly what I did, but I am saying you have more power than you think. Because here's another thing I learned. The leverage shifts after 60. If you're good at what you do, if you've built relationships, if you've delivered for years, you have negotiating power. Maybe not to demand the corner office, but to shape your role in ways that work for you. I negotiated a 4-day work week, same responsibilities, slightly reduced pay, best decision I ever made. That extra day? It's not lazy, it's survival. It's the recovery day that makes the other 4 days sustainable. I also negotiated working from home 2 days a week. The commute was killing me. Not just the time, but the energy drain. 2 hours a day in traffic, arriving stressed, leaving exhausted. Now, those 2 days, I wake up, have a real breakfast, and start work refreshed. Game changer. But here's what I want you to really hear. The biggest shift wasn't external, it was internal. I had to grieve the worker I used to be. This sounds dramatic, but it's true. I had to mourn the version of myself who could power through anything, who didn't need breaks. who thrived on pressure. That person is gone, and I spent 2 years trying to resurrect him before I finally accepted he's not coming back. And that's okay, because the person I am now, I'm actually better at a lot of things. I'm more patient, I'm a better listener, I can read a room in seconds, a skill that took decades to develop. I can solve complex problems faster because I've seen similar patterns before. I don't panic under pressure because I've survived every crisis the industry has thrown at us. I'm not worse, I'm different. And once I accepted that, everything got easier. There's one more thing I need to tell you, and this one's hard. You need an exit plan. Even if you love your job, even if you're planning to work until you're 80, you need to know what comes next. I watched too many colleagues get pushed out suddenly. A merger, a restructure, a new boss who wants fresh blood. And they're scrambling, panicking, taking the first thing that comes along because they never prepared for this moment. Don't be that person. Start building your exit now. Maybe it's consulting. Maybe it's a passion project that could generate income. Maybe it's volunteer work that gives you purpose and could transition into something more. Maybe it's finally starting that business you've talked about for 20 years. I started a small consulting practice on the side, just a few hours here and there. And you know what? It's thriving. Because I took all that experience, all that knowledge, and I'm sharing it with people who actually want it. No corporate politics, no proving myself, just pure value exchange. When I do eventually step away from my full-time role, whether that's next year or in 5 years, I won't fall into a void. I'll step into something I've already built. That peace of mind? Priceless. So here's my honest advice, all of it in one place. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Let go of battles that don't matter. Separate your worth from your work title. Shape your role to fit your life, not the other way around. Grieve who you were and embrace who you are, and build your bridge to what's next, starting today. Working past 60 isn't about clinging to the past or proving you've still got it. It's about being strategic, intentional, and honest. It's about recognizing that this phase of work can actually be the best phase, but only if you play by different rules. My colleague who collapsed, he's okay now, but it scared him straight. He cut his hours, delegated more, and actually started enjoying work again. He told me last week, "I spent 40 years climbing the mountain. I'm finally realizing the view is pretty good right here. That's it. That's the secret. Stop climbing. Start living." Your worth isn't measured by how much you can endure. It's measured by how well you take care of yourself while still contributing value. You've earned that. Don't forget it.